Good morning, and welcome to another edition of PreMarket PulseScan with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWave So, I really hope you guys have had an amazing weekend. Hopefully, it was fun and relaxing. Hopefully you got a chance to chill and unwind and shake off all the news from last week, all that good stuff. I want to remind everybody about the upcoming webinar. There is a link on our homepage at pulsewavetrading.com. And just want to let you know that the last one, if you missed that one last Friday, you have an opportunity to view that as well. And of course, we have a lot of brand new content that is coming out. We made a major announcement on our last webinar this past Friday. It was a major announcement. And we have another major announcement that is forthcoming. All right. So you will be seeing and hearing a lot of things coming out of PulseWave Trading. Amazing things. All right. We're unveiling some new technology that's just going to revolutionize everything that not only that we've been currently doing, but also previously done. It is definitely our magnum opus. It is everything that we stand for. And we're just really excited to be able to unveil it. So stay tuned for further announcements about the incredible news coming out of PulseWave Trading that is sure to change your lives for the better. And with that being said, let's do something a little bit different. Give me just a second here. All right, let's see. Let's get into the overnight markets first. We're gonna go backwards today, only because there's some things that's going on. So we're gonna do things a little bit different. I want you to see these quotes first, the overnight markets, real quick, and then we'll jump in. We'll just jump all around the place today. We're not gonna do our normal flow, just because it's Monday and there's a lot that we need to do before the opening bell. Okay, is that all right with y'all? All right, let's jump in. All right, so looking at the overnight markets, we got the Dow. It's down right now, 87 points at 28,958. The E-mini NASDAQ 100 is down 18 3/4 points at 93.91 1/4. You got the E-mini S&P 500 down 7 1/4 at 33.18 1/4. The Russell is down 3.4 points at 1654.90. Bitcoin futures are up $75 at $9,920. The natural gas is down 7 cents at $1.78. And the euro yen is down 23 pips at 119.96. And we got the crude oil futures are down 50 cents at $49.82 a barrel. The long bond, I like calling it the strong bond. The strong bond is up 14.30 at 163.01. Gold futures up $4.10 at $1,577.50 an ounce. Silver up 6 cents at $17.76 an ounce. $17.76 an ounce. U.S. dollar index is up 7 ticks at 98.75. The euro is down 19 pips at 109.51. Pound sterling up 46 pips at 129.45. The Aussie is up 4 pips at 66.85. Beans are down this morning at 1 1/4 points, and we're sitting at 8.80 3/4. Corn is off 4 at 379.50. 50. All right, so that is our overnight markets as far as what we set. As far as pre-market pulse scans, drum roll please. Let's see what we got here. Pre-market pulse scan on the Dow, nope. NASDAQ, nope. S&P, nope. Russell, nope. Bitcoin, Ding, 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 ding. Nat Gas has a bearish 2-bar Charlie setup for today. We're expecting an all-day down day, which normally means that you can expect Nat Gas to close down today and stay down all day. So bearish 2-bar Charlie setup on Nat Gas futures. Euro yen, nope. Crude oil, nah, nope. Strong bond, nope. Gold, nope. Silver, nope. Dollar index, nope. Euro, Pound, nope. Aussie, nope. Soybeans, nope. And corn, nope. All right, so only thing we have today is a bearish 2-bar Charlie on Nat Gas. Not a lot of people like to trade Nat Gas futures. But if you're one of those that like to, I'm looking at a bearish 2-bar Charlie setup this morning. So it looks like this market will be selling off today and will stay down all day. If you don't have the wherewithal to trade the futures, you can trade the ETF for Nat Gas, which is ticker U as an umbrella, N as in Nancy, G as in George. That's ticker UNG. Keep in mind, too, that Nat Gas is one of those instruments that don't really move a whole lot from day to day. Not a lot of volatility. You normally will get volatility during the winter months when the weather is usually the coldest and or supplies are down. If we have supply in abundance and the warehouses are full, then your price is not going to, it's going to be muted. It's not going to really move a whole lot and move down. And that's basically what's happening now. We have a glut in storage. You know, supply is abundant and demand is not all that high because we've been having some kind of radical weather, so to speak. So there it is on that. That's your rundown. All right. Now let's jump over to our notable rally and crash alerts for the day. Okay, we're gonna go there now. All right, notables. We do have some notable crash alerts that we need to talk about. All right, so the first one I got is crude oil futures has a crash alert. It's a secondary crash alert. The Russell has a secondary crash alert. Caterpillar has a crash alert. The Bitcoin GBTC has a secondary crash alert. Very interesting. Nat Gas, but it's the ETF UNG. XLE, which is your energy sector spider, has a crash alert, and these are secondary crash alerts. As does your financial sector spider, XLF. Primary crash alerts are in the following: the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, Emerging Markets ETF EEM, Emerging Markets ETF EWJ, ticker symbol HACK, all right, part of our Illuminati index. The QQQ, so that's the NASDAQ 100, the SPY, UCO, which is in our crude oil family, which is ticker UCO, and the Aussie dollar. All right, those are all primary crash alerts for today. So I gave you the secondary crash alerts and the primary crash alerts for the day. That's a big deal. Those are things that have to be watched because the primary and secondary crash alerts, for those of you who know, is a big deal. All right, they're a big deal. You can almost set your watch, take it to the bank. If you have a primary or secondary rally or crash alert within the next 3 to 5 trading sessions, you can expect that thing to manifest itself. All right. And excuse me, as we speak, the futures have gotten worse. The Dow is now down over 100 points. All right, so crash alerts, they do what they do, and they come out way in advance of the moves. This report that I'm reading you from came out Sunday when the markets were closed. All right, just to give you the validity of these reports. They come out ahead of time, way ahead of time. So while the markets were closed, the system told you what to expect Sunday night coming into Monday. And this is what we're getting, the manifestation of what the report said. All right. Now let's look at our rally alerts. We do have some notable rally alerts to talk about. All right, the following are secondary rally alerts, and that is in Dash Coin, the the inverse ETF for the crude oil family, which is DUG, ticker DUG. Tesla has a secondary rally alert, as does the inverse ETF for the Russell, ticker TWM. The following tickers have primary rally alerts. All right, that's the inverse ETF for silver, DSLV, the DXD inverse ETF for the Dow, MAXR, MAXR, Maxar Technologies has a primary rally alert. ProShares Ultra Yen ETF has a primary rally alert. Let's see, the inverse ETF for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P, which is QUID and SDS, respectively. The ticker for the ProShares Ultra Yen is YCL. All right, those are all primary rally alerts, okay? Those are the notable ones for the day. We do have a few honorable mentions here as far as things go. Let me see here. Okay, nope, I take that back. Nope, that was it. All right, so those are the notables. And these are things that, this is coming off my special little report that I have off of my own personal watch list. These are things that I watch and trade in and out of on a daily and weekly basis. So I just wanted to get that out the way. All right, so we went over our quotes. We went over the rally and crash alerts. Now let's go ahead and go over some of this important news that's going on. All right, so let's see here. China's ambassador to the UK says the Conservative Party politicians opposed to Huawei's involvement in Britain's 5G network are carrying out a witch hunt. This name, I know I'm going to kill it. It's Lu Xiaoming told the BBC that the politicians were totally wrong to raise concerns about the government's decision to involve Huawei, which has angered U.S. President Donald Trump. Donald Trump shared a doctored video of Nancy Pelosi ripping his speech that's been viewed millions of times, and Democrats are outraged. Facebook and Twitter still won't remove it. Twitter and Facebook have said the video, which is edited to show Pelosi ripping up Trump's speech while he spoke, doesn't violate their policies. Yeah, it's called a meme. Deal with it. Memes are not just picture memes, but they can also be video memes. It's a meme. I mean, if you take a look at how many Trump memes that exist versus how many Nancy Pelosi memes exist, you can't even, it's a no contest. There are like millions of Trump memes, some terrible and disgusting, and some are downright funny. It's a meme. If you are in the public eye, there's no escaping memes. You're going to have a meme. Sorry. You're going to have fanboys and you're going to have people that love you. So it is what it is. All right. Got a question here. Let's see. All right. The question is, so a negative 777 is now considered a negative 911. Yeah, absolutely. Basically, it's in the family. It's in a family of rally and crash alerts. That 777, that negative 777 and negative 911 are the same family. The negative 777 is definitely a primary signal, while the 911 is a secondary signal. Yeah, we just had to switch some of the algo settings around to make room for the new stuff. And new things may be added. So you want to be on the lookout because some new things are probably going to be popping up. And what this does, the new setup that we have on the reports now allows for more information to be given. All right, so that's what's up. Yep, no problem, my man, no problem. All right, so let's see here. Okay, Amazon has become the latest firm to pull out of this year's Mobile World Congress over coronavirus fears. MWC's organizer says the event will still go ahead, BBC News reports. Samsung revealed a new foldable smartphone during the Oscars. The Korean tech giant has fine print saying that a crease where the screen folds is a natural characteristic of the phone. First of all, I think it's odd that we're going backwards in our technology. Have they lost all imagination? Flip phones is so, late 90s. A flip phone? Really? So we're going back to 99? Really? Really, Apple? A flip phone? Come on, man. Not 1999. You're taking us back. We don't want to go back. We want to go forward, Apple. You need to holler at your R&D department. Good grief. I know you haven't talked to your customers about this. I know they're not checking for no flip phone. Really? A flip phone? Oh, whatever. France has fined Apple $27 million for internationally slowing down iPhones. The amount of profit the company makes is under 3 hours. France's competition watchdog fined Apple $27 million for deliberately slowing down older iPhone models without telling users, as first reported by Apple Insider. Okay, you guys are acting like this is the first time that Apple or any other company for that matter has done this. This is a strategy, whether you think it's good or bad, positive or negative. Companies like to sometimes go ahead and create artificial demand where there is none. All right. And one of the ways to do that is to limit supply and or slow down that process. It's a way for them to gauge response to see what kind of demand is out there, or if they can create more demand out there. It's a strategy, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to increase profits. I said profits. They're trying to increase profits. All right. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. You don't have to like it, but it is a business tactic, if you will. Jeff Bezos was roasted during the Oscars opening monologue with Chris Rock, saying he is so rich that even a divorce settlement couldn't put a dent in his net worth. He's got cash, said comedian Chris Rock during the Oscars opening monologue. When he writes a check, the bank bounces. Must be nice. Nevada Democrats will use an iPad program to avoid an Iowa-like disaster in its upcoming caucus. Plans for the Nevada caucus on February the 22nd had to be altered quickly after the chaotic situation in Iowa's caucus. All right, let's take a moment to really look at this, okay? So all these months, and really the last 4 years, to be quite honest, that the Democratic Party has spent trying to take down the sitting president, Donald Trump, they should have been planning on this Iowa caucus. What this Iowa caucus has demonstrated is that the party is so fractured and discombobulated and out of order, they can't even hold an Iowa caucus. You can't even hold a caucus? You want to know why you can't hold a caucus, Democratic Party? It's because you spent all this time and energy focused on the wrong things. You allowed your hatred for Donald Trump to not only cloud your judgment, but to get in the way of business. This Iowa caucus is business for you. How can you allow a disaster and then allow for it to be publicized that it was a disaster? What happened? What up? Well, how Martin used to say, what's up? It's a mess. It's disgusting. It's so elementary school. You guys couldn't even pull off a caucus and you want to run a country? You couldn't pull off a simple caucus. It's a morning assembly at an elementary school. You couldn't even do that? And you want to run a country? You want nuclear launch codes in your hands? And you can't even run a caucus? You can't balance your own checkbook, but you want to balance the checkbook of the entire U.S. government? That's basically what you're asking us to do. You're saying, hey, I'm blind, and not only am I blind, but I'm also deaf, and I want to drive you to school. Sally, let me drive you to school. What kind of a sick joke is that? No disrespect to those that are blind and or deaf or mute, but you see my point. How can you be expected to run a race with no legs? And I'm not disrespecting those that are in wheelchairs and Special Olympics. You know exactly what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm saying. All right? Get your stuff together, Democratic Party. Come back and see us in maybe another 4 years after you've proven that you can run a caucus. Then maybe we can entertain taking any of your presidential candidates seriously. And until that time, we can't. We can't do it. You can't do it. You can't even get your stuff together. Moving on. Nevada Democrats will use an iPad program to avoid an Iowa-like disaster in its upcoming caucus. Plans for the Nevada caucus on February the 22nd had to be altered quickly after the chaotic situation with Iowa caucus. They used the word chaotic. Facebook's Twitter account was hijacked by the same group that hacked a bunch of NFL accounts. A back and forth tussle for control between the hacking collective and Facebook resulted in a series of rapidly posted, then deleted tweets. Once again, all right, so you want it to be okay that you sell people's public information and private information to the federal government, including people's face scans and everything else to build your black ops government projects and databases, but you can't stop college school and high school kids from hacking into your servers? What? Are you guys seeing a pattern here? I hope you are. This is why ticker symbol HACK is going through the roof right now. That's why it's in the $40 range right now. It's because of stuff like this. As long as security is lax, as long as you're cutting back spending on security, as long as you're cutting back money being sent to the R&D department, as long as you keep doing that, then this is why you're seeing the quality of U.S. technology go downhill. It's not going downhill because you're allowing China to manufacture your products. China is not the bad guy here. The corporations that are sending the information to China and telling them how to build their stuff is the problem. Don't blame China for cheap products. They're only building according to specs. Understand that. All right? There is a crisis going on and no one's talking about it. We have a technological crisis in America right now where the technology is so bad. Everyone is rushing to make money, to make a quick buck, but the quality of the products and services that are coming out are absolutely terrible. All right? Terrible. All right? I can't stress this enough. Okay? Case in point. Everyone out there knows I'm a video game head. I love video games. Been playing them since video games came out. All right, I'm old. I'm triple OG, going all the way back to the days of Pong. Okay, going all the way back to the Atari 2600 and ColecoVision. All right, I go back. All right, I go back to the floppy disk and the floppy drives on the first Apple personal computer that came out like back in 1980. All right, I go way back. Okay, I go way back. And I can tell you that the quality and the stability of the products that are coming out now, just in the video game genre itself, has been abysmal. All right, abysmal. People are cutting corners. You got characters caught T-posing in the corner. For those of you that don't know what T-posing is, it's basically for like a lot of the sports video games and stuff now, a person, a real life individual, when they're putting on the suit, they have to ROM the person out, so that you have to do a series of like a couple of poses. One of them is like the T pose and these different like letter poses, Z pose, whatever, so they can ROM the person out when they're finished using them. Well, anyway, what happens is from time to time you'll have your characters T posing and just standing there T posing. All right, just stand with you're standing still with your arms stretched out. That's T posing, not doing anything. Some case, and in other cases, you got characters just running around in circles, spinning around, doing nothing. You're like, what? This is supposed to be a first-person shooter. The enemy's supposed to be, you know, sneaky and trying to take me out. Instead, I see them spinning around in circles. What kind of foolishness is this? You know, all types of glitches and all types of bugs, games coming out unfinished, games coming out, you can tell they didn't even run this through any kind of testing before they put it out. Same thing with GPSs, cell phones, Apple, computer programs, computer software, hardware, you name anything that has to do with software, hardware, electronics, whatever. It has been disaster after disaster. The quality is going downhill. We don't even care about quality anymore. What is the problem? What's going on, people? No one's talking about this. This is a disaster. And people aren't seeing it. And you know what? They're only gonna start saying something and dealing with it when people start dying in these hospitals because the machines are malfunctioning. Now, I know I just hit a nerve, because this is another thing, that a topic that doesn't want to be talked about. When you go to your doctor's office, how many of you have seen the people whispering in a corner, the doctor staff, hospital staff, whatever, because one of the machines malfunction, they can't figure out how to get it to work. You know exactly what I'm talking about. How many times you had to have your car taken in to get service because there's a computer malfunction? You know, all the cars now have computers in them, computer chips and stuff. See my point? There's a problem with quality. Apple used to be synonymous with quality. Just like when you heard Mercedes-Benz, you thought quality. Not anymore. You don't think quality no more when you think Mercedes-Benz. You still may think, you know, status, social status. Oh, I can afford a Benz. But quality-wise, nah. BMW, when it first came out, that was the yuppie's car. It meant that you were in a certain station of life if you was whipping around in a BMW. Nah, not anymore. I talked to a mechanic once who said he wished that he could buy everybody a BMW. It would make him rich, the richest man in the world. Want to know why? Because BMWs are the #1 cars on the side of the road. Second to BMWs is Escalades, Cadillac Escalades. Cadillac Escalades and BMWs, side of the road. You're going to spend more time driving a rental car or a company loaner than you will driving your own car that you pay for. It's just how it is. People know it, but no one really talks about it. They just say, hey, I look good in this car. But again, the issue of quality has come way down, along with customer service. Customer service in this country is also a disaster in just about every area. It used to be that certain companies, you just knew that it meant quality. When Apple was coming out and was gaining momentum against Microsoft, Apple was known as that system that if you didn't want viruses all up in your system, you better go get yourself an Apple. But okay, fine. I don't have viruses on my Apple, but I can't use my Apple because the thing won't turn on. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that. See what I'm saying? So quality has just plummeted. I remember this back in the day, man, back in the 80s. The car that you never, ever wanted to drive because, excuse me, you be driving down the street, you just bought the car brand new off the lot, and your transmission will fall out while you on the highway. Do y'all know what car that was? Think about it for a second. I know some of y'all know what car I'm talking about. This car was notorious. And now it's considered one of the #1 cars on the road today. They got their act together. Here's one you all remember. Fix or repair daily. Ford, the most avoided car in the world also. That's what Ford stood for, fix or repair daily. Now Fords are whipping up and down the road with no problem. You hardly see one on the side of the road. Okay? So let's keep it real, folks. We got a lot of issues going on and no one's really dealing with it or talking about it. All right? So let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. We got a lot of work to do if we're going to make a comeback. Manufacturing being shipped out of the country, which is part of the problem because it took a lot of American jobs with it. Yeah, there's been some manufacturing to come back, but let's face it, not a whole lot. All right. Here's another one for you. $4 billion snack maker Kind says it will spend tens of millions of dollars more to market its new frozen and refrigerated products and hit 1.6 billion in sales in 2020. The move comes on the heels of Kind's acquiring Creative Snacks and confectionery giant Mars, buying a minority stake in the company in 2019. A parking space in the garage in San Francisco is selling for $100,000. The parking spot is currently leased out for $300 a month, and the realtor is promoting it as an investment to park your money in. Are you serious? See what the problem is, folks? See, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of garbage is going on, and no one is dealing with it. They don't want to talk about real things that are affecting real people, like the fake unemployment numbers and stuff like that, and how, it's always the working poor that suffer the most, and no one wants to deal with that either. That's why we got some incredible announcements coming up. My goal in 2020 is to help as many people become financially self-sufficient so that you don't become one of those statistics of people that have to depend on the U.S. government for your survival. I'm talking to you guys at the sound of my voice, working at Walmart, working at McDonald's and Wendy's. Those of you that are in those dead-end type jobs due to no fault of your own. Some of you are just getting out of prison, and it's the only kind of job you can get. You're struggling to make ends meet. I want to holler at you. We got some major announcements coming up that is going to put you in a position, giving you the opportunity to create an additional income stream for yourself. I'm so confident in what I'm talking about, and I'm going to prove it to you, and you're going to see why I'm so confident. All right? This is a good point. Very good point. Peep this right here, what one of our listeners is saying. People don't understand how the Fed is responsible for the people not having enough money. Absolutely 100% correct. Before we had a Fed, excuse me, we were not having these economic crashes every couple of years. We weren't having these recessions and depressions like this. This did not come about until after the institution of that Federal Reserve law, okay, that happened after they killed all those people on the Titanic. So after that happened, boom, we have been having these boom and bust cycles. And it's not going to end until the that Federal Reserve system ends. See, folks, I'm going to share a little secret with you, then I'm going to end this. Capitalism is not the problem. There's no better system that allows for the poor to become middle class, upper middle class, and wealthy than capitalism. No other system will allow regular common day folk to become wealthy besides capitalism. It is the only system that allows for that. But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay? Here's a little secret. It doesn't matter which system a country adopts, whether it be communism, socialism, capitalism, Marxism, fascism, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna tell you what the real problem is. That with any one of these systems, they all share one common flaw. One flaw. And they can't escape it. It's one flaw. Socialism, capitalism, communism, they're all the same system in this one regard, that they have the same weakness. And I dare anyone to dispute this and show me proof that I'm wrong. I'm willing to change my mind if you can change my mind. Are you ready? Here is the kryptonite for all three of these systems: capitalism, socialism, communism. You ready? Here we go. It's called, drum roll please, corruption. There it is, folks. Corruption. It's corruption. It's just how it is. These are facts. These are facts, folks. Corruption. So think about that. It's corruption. Now, here's something that's going to shock a lot of people too. There are people that are living under a communism government that are quite happy. There are people living under socialism, and they're quite happy. There are people living under capitalism, and they're quite happy. But you know where the problem comes in? The problem comes in when the corruption seeps in and exposes the system. All right? It's always like that. It's the corruption. And the corruption comes in many forms. You have greed, where all the money is going to one person or one family or one group of individuals while the masses starve. Okay? Or you have a situation where like with communism, the country becomes so corrupt that the people that run the country they become corrupt with power to the point where they squish out every ounce of individual freedoms and liberties. All right? Corruption will allow that. Fear that their regime will collapse if they don't keep the boot on the neck of the citizenry. Same thing with socialism. They want to provide everything for everyone without having the wherewithal to do it. Where you're taking from the rich to give to the poor. That's still theft. What you should have done is teach people how to love their neighbor, right? And teach people also the power of self-sufficiency and working and earning and character and integrity. Then what would have happened is the majority of the people would have been pretty much well off. Not everyone's going to be rich. It's just how it is. but at least people can be well off and have an affordable wage and things of that nature. If you take the corruption out of the equation, everyone prospers. When you add the corruption in, you're going to have people falling through the cracks. And what happens is when you have a society of corrupt individuals, because that's what you've been brainwashing them to do, since they were in preschool, what do you expect you're going to get? So the way it's supposed to be is there's always supposed to be a safety net in place, regardless of which system you're using, so that when those that fall through the cracks, the community comes and lifts those people up, not the government. You don't depend on the government to do anything. The only purpose of your government is to protect its borders. That's what it's supposed to. The government is there to protect the rights of property. Period. That's your government. You don't want another country coming in and invading you, right? So you need to have a military. You need to have a government that is going to protect its citizenry, right? Not take care of its citizenry. That's never the government's job. That's not their function. Not even designed or set up to do that. The people take care of each other and take care of themselves. But see, when you have a corrupt government who solely exists to stay in power, it's going to do anything and everything to stay in power, including killing off its citizenry. They want to protect their sovereignty. Thank you. Exactly. They want to protect their sovereignty. That's the corruption I'm talking about. Those of you who've never seen the movie Lord of the Rings, I strongly encourage you to see it, because it's so powerful how that it shows you the corruption of that ring. That ring represents the corruption, and human beings have like no willpower against it. That's why that's why I like the way the United States was set up as a republic, as a constitutional republic with checks and balances. But because of corruption, all that's been broken down and thrown out the window. See what I'm saying? But in theory, if you would have just stuck to the game plan, this could have really been the greatest country the world has ever seen. But unfortunately, it's not, because of what? Corruption. It's gone the way of all countries, which is corruption. It could have been a model for the future, for countries in the future, a constitutional republic. But, again, because it wants to stay in power, it's been using all these destructive, psychological, manipulative tactics throughout many decades that all of its citizenry now are brainwashed and confused, because they throw around the word democracy. We want to bring democracy to the world. Democracy, democracy. There's no such thing as democracy. Democracy means mob rule. This is not a democracy. You don't want democracy. Democracy is a gateway drug to total tyranny. You don't want democracy. You want a constitutional republic with a Bill of Rights, property rights. You need that. But see, again, the corruption seeps in with the rise of the Federal Reserve System. Now you got fiat currency backed by nothing. All right. You don't have a currency backed by gold anymore. You don't have that. You have corruption. You have fractional banking. All right. Your Federal Reserve brought all these things into being. And until we get back to the constitutional republic with the Bill of Rights and teach people to love thy neighbor, this is what is lacking in the world today. All right. Okay. Someone's asking me, can you elaborate on the Titanic part? I was trying to find stuff on that and did not see anything. Yeah, they made a very good effort to pretty much cleanse and disinfect the internet of anything that is relevant to your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So let me lead you to a couple of places where you can get closer to that truth. The creature from Jekyll Island will help you to get closer to that truth. Also, the Money Masters series. It's still up here on YouTube. Money Masters series, along with the what is it called? The Escape from Oz. That's like their part two, something Oz. But it's all done by the Money Masters. So Money Masters series, and that Escape from Oz or something like that, along with the Creature from Jekyll Island. And there was actually a video on here on YouTube many years ago that actually broke down the names of the people that was on that Titanic that had to do with the U.S. Treasury or this whole Federal Reserve scandal thing from 1913, 1914, and they put all the links together and they showed you how as soon as the Titanic sunk, that's when they were able to get their law enacted, all right, that Federal Reserve law. So thank you. Someone just posted. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. So exactly, there were. All right. One of our listeners said there was 10 high-level bankers who were anti-Federal Reservists who died on the Titanic on their way to the USA to oppose the creation of the Fed. That's it. Yes, that's the one. Yep, that's it right there. Thank you very much. And the research gave you their names and all that other stuff and showed you the links and all that. Yes. And the same thing, I don't know if it was the same documentary or like a supplement to that one. It was also showing you the torpedo that sunk it and the hole in the side, and they were going into the science behind the sinking of the Titanic, how an iceberg cannot rip, how ice can't rip through steel. Okay. Some people say, well, what it did was it knocked the rivets loose. Also, another lie. People come up with these so-called scientific theories, but they're anti-scientific theories. Okay. It's not very difficult to, once you understand and break the science and stuff down, you'll be able to see what's what. All right. It's not a conspiracy theory. Once it happens, it's a fact. And people don't want to deal with these certain things. So anyway, not to get off my topic, but what I'm trying to say is when corruption seeps in, folks, it's a wrap. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a wrap. Once the corruption seeps in, it's a wrap. And you only have a very limited window, a limited window of time to get things back, to get the country back on track. And if you can't do that, if you fail to do that, then you've lost your country. So that's what I'm saying, folks. We've lost love thy neighbor. The social net is supposed to be ran by the churches and the individual communities. It starts with the individual's family, a person's family. If they don't have that, then it goes to the churches and the individual members of the community. They're supposed to be the ones taking care of their poor and downtrodden. Okay, if when an elderly woman becomes a widow and she doesn't have no family, it's up to the churches and the community and neighbors to take care of that widow. If the people took care of the poor among them, then we wouldn't have these issues. Now, see, we've been programmed a certain way when it comes to looking at the whole conversation of the poor. They're different. See, we've been taught that if a person's poor and living out in the gutter, they put themselves there. It's their fault. They have to deal with it. That's the consequences of being lazy and not wanting to work or whatever. And see, that right there is very disrespectful and very ignorant. And I'll tell you why. Because there are different types of poor. Now, some people were terrible with their money and lazy, and then they end up in that situation. Okay, that's one type of poor. But then you got another type of poor, which is the mentally ill. All right, when the mental hospitals around the country disbanded, all those mentally ill people took to the streets, right? And then we started using the penal system, the prisons and the jails to house the mentally ill. A lot of the mentally ill have no family. Or if they do, the family wants nothing to do with them because they saw them as a burden. Because what? It's how we built our society. Okay? That's how we built our society, not to care for one another. We built a society of consumers. Consumerism builds the day. Our entire GDP is built on consumerism. If you don't spend money, we have no economy. What kind of foolishness is that? Right? What kind of foolishness is that? All right. So the system itself is counterproductive to what they say that the society wants. It's ridiculous. So because of that, again, the corruption has sinked in. There's no love thy neighbor. All right. The majority of American households are dysfunctional and in shambles. All right. So because of that, that the family was the safety net, folks. The family was the safety net. Before there was a welfare system in place, before there was EBT and food stamps and unemployment benefits and TANF, before it was these things and SSI, before these things even existed, the built-in safety net was the family. The family was the safety net. And then outside, because it's a circle within a circle within a circle, outside of that immediate nucleus, that center circle, then came the churches, because churches are made up of what? Communities. All right. So it's the family first. The family was the first safety net. Outside of the family was the community, your immediate community. All right. Your tribe, your clan. All right. That was the safety net. They looked after their own. Okay. That's where the safety net is. But because you've broken and destroyed the family, which is that center nucleus, now you've destroyed the safety net. And then because you destroyed family, and by doing that, you've also destroyed community. How often is it that in the average community, no one knows their neighbors, even in small towns, just about. No one speaks to each other. No one looks after each other. No one has done anything. We don't live in a world like that anymore. Things have changed. No one wants to deal with these facts that things have gotten worse, folks. They've made it so that there's no escape from it. Those that are in power know what's going on because they are the ones that created it. That's what I'm trying to get people to see. The system is the thing that has brought the people to this point. The systems that we set in place, that we allowed to happen. You allow Ugly Betty to tell you how to feel. You allow the ugliest people in the classroom now to make all the laws. You allow all the kids that you bullied in high school to now have positions of power above you. And that's in all areas of life. The dude that you stuffed in his locker in high school is now the warden of the jail that you're in. And he remembers you. Or that CEO used to be the kid that you put his head in the toilet. Now he has power over you because he's the CEO in the jail that you're locked up in, or the prison you're locked up in. The girl that you said was too ugly to join your little clique back in high school is now your boss and or CEO of the company that you work for, and she remembers you. See where I'm going with this, folks? We have built this bed of nails, and now we have to lie in it and bleed to death. But there's hope. All you have to do is remove the bed and build a new one. And this time use wisdom when you build this bed. Don't make another bed of nails. There's time, but the window is closing, folks. The window is closing. So in closing, pun intended, we need to get back to the basics, get back to what works. And that is caring for your fellow man, love thy neighbors, you love yourself. Family is important. mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins. We need that back. Without that, we are doomed as a society. The United States of America will crumble from within. Don't worry about North Korea and China and Russia and Iran. You ain't got to worry about any of that. You ain't got to worry about no groups coming at you. You ain't got to worry about no terrorists coming at you. The country will implode from within. That's all I'm saying, folks. We got a small window here to turn this thing around. I'm doing what little bit I can do. This is my sphere. This is my sphere right here. What I can do is what we're about to do with our major announcement to try to help people in a way financially. You know, teach a man to fish. He can eat for a lifetime, but if you give a man a fish, he only eat for a day. I want to teach y'all to fish. I have something that I'm about to blow you away with. Frank and I are about to blaze you up with it shortly. And if you can share this with as many people as possible, I'm certain that we can make a dent and help to turn the tide. A recession is only a recession if the people allow it to be one. You can only have a recession if people are out of work. You can only have a depression if there is no jobs. But it doesn't have to be any jobs. It doesn't have to be that for people to still be able to make money. You don't have to go and just work 9 to 5 in order to make money. What if this recession hits America in 2020, but half of the people were wise enough and smart enough to listen to my broadcast, and now they're not working. They lost their jobs, but they all right though. They solid because they took advantage of what I'm about to lay down on y'all in the next couple few days. See, that's all it takes, folks. You can avoid a recession. You can have a massive layoff and avoid a recession. You can have massive layoffs and avoid a depression. Companies can go out of business and you can avoid a depression. Just because there's a depression or recession doesn't mean that the people have to be poor and starving. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Open your eyes. I can't stress it enough. Share this with someone that you know, your friends, your families, because I'm telling you, in the coming days, I have something that I am sure. This is my life work. This is my focus for 2020 to help as many people as possible. And not just me. I'm not going to be doing all the work. I'm not going to be killing myself and busting my tail and breaking my neck and no one else is helping me. Nah, you guys are going to help me do this because you're going to be able to go out and teach other people and help the people in your immediate family and your friends so they can become self-sufficient. Each one teach one. I'm not doing all the work. My job is just to get y'all in place so y'all can go out. My job is to build an army so y'all can go out and help other people and strengthen other people. I can only do but so much as one person, but everybody under the sound of my voice can do much. We can do this, folks. We can do this. So I ended with that. Remember, PulseWaveTrading.com. If you missed Friday's webinar, you need to go check it out. And we got some more coming to you this week. And with that being said, we're past the opening bell now. You got 30 more minutes until the markets decide what they're going to do today. 10:30, the first hour of trading is the most important part. First hour trading, the market's trying to digest what's going on or not going on. People are jockeying for position. The retail people are in there trying to day trade, whatever. The institutional money comes in at 10:30. All right, they come in after 10:30. So you got time to go get your orders in if you haven't done so already. And remember, I'll see you back here with this evening's end of day report. And until then, remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take whatever profits you can from this market and give none of it back to the market. Don't turn winning trades into losing trades. And I'm out. Peace.